Imagine this. You say something, and then nothing. No reply, no acknowledgement, just silence. And somehow, that silence feels louder than any argument ever could. You keep checking your phone, replaying the last conversation in your head. Did I do something wrong? Are they okay? Did I say too much? This isn't just an awkward pause. This is a psychological weapon, and someone is using it on you. Today, we're going inside the dark psychology of silent treatment, what it does to your brain, why people use it, and the disturbing truth that most victims never realize. Silent treatment is a deliberate act of withdrawing all communication, ignoring someone completely, refusing to acknowledge their existence, cutting off all verbal and emotional contact. On the surface, it looks passive. It looks like nothing. But psychologically, it is one of the most aggressive things one human being can do to another. Research from Kipling Williams at Purdue University found that being ignored activates the exact same region of the brain as physical pain. Think about that. Being ignored literally hurts. The silent treatment isn't the absence of an action. It is the action. It's a calculated move designed to make you feel invisible, powerless, and desperate for reconnection. So why do people use it? There are three core psychological drivers. The first is control. When someone gives you the silent treatment, they are controlling the entire dynamic of the relationship. They decide when the conflict starts, when it ends, and what you have to do to get back into their good graces. You become a player in a game where only they know the rules. The second driver is avoidance. Many people who use silent treatment have a deep fear of direct confrontation. They never learn how to handle conflict in a healthy way. So instead of expressing their feelings, they shut down completely. It feels safer to disappear than to be vulnerable. And the third, the darkest one, is punishment. Some people use silence as a deliberate tool to make you suffer. They know it unsettles you. They know it creates anxiety. And they use that knowledge consciously, sometimes even enjoying the power it gives them over your emotional state. Here's where it gets disturbing. When you're on the receiving end of silent treatment, your brain enters a state of social threat response. Your cortisol, the stress hormone, spikes. Your mind becomes hypervigilant, scanning every memory for what you might have done wrong. You start over-explaining, apologizing for things you didn't even do, shrinking yourself just to end the silence. This is called anxious attachment activation. And people who use silent treatment know exactly how to trigger it. Over time, repeated exposure to silent treatment rewires your nervous system. You begin to associate love with uncertainty. You begin to feel that you must constantly earn someone's presence. You stop trusting your own perception of reality because the person punishing you never told you what you did wrong. Psychologists call this emotional invalidation, and it is a core component of emotional abuse. When silent treatment is used repeatedly and intentionally, it stops being a communication failure and becomes a manipulation strategy. It is a foundational tactic in narcissistic abuse cycles. Here's how it works in practice. The abuser withdraws completely. No eye contact, no response, no warmth. The victim, desperate to restore the relationship, begins to take all the blame. They apologize. They beg. They change their behavior. Eventually, the abuser forgives, and the relief the victim feels is so overwhelming that it actually strengthens the bond. This is called a trauma bond, and it is the same psychological mechanism found in hostage situations. The victim starts to feel grateful just for being acknowledged, and every time the silent treatment cycle repeats, that bond gets tighter. The victim becomes easier to control, and the abuser becomes more powerful. How do you know if you're experiencing this? Ask yourself these questions. Do you constantly feel like you're walking on eggshells around this person? Do you find yourself apologizing even when you don't know what you did wrong? Does their silence make you feel worthless, panicked, or desperate? Do you feel a disproportionate sense of relief when they finally speak to you again? If you answered yes to even two of these, pay attention. Because silent treatment used as a pattern, as a tool, as a weapon, is not a communication style. It is emotional manipulation. And you deserve to know the difference. So what do? The most counterintuitive but psychologically correct response to silent treatment is to not chase it. When you beg, plead, and over-apologize, you reinforce the behavior. You are teaching the other person that silence works on you. Instead, stay calm. Give a single, clear statement. I'm here when you're ready to talk. I won't be chasing this conversation. Then, and this is the hard part, you withdraw your anxious energy. You go live your life. You stop performing desperation. This does two things. It signals that you have self-respect, which genuine partners will respond to, and it reveals, if they continue the silence without reason, exactly who they are and what this relationship is really about. Silent treatment is proof that the most painful things in life don't always make a sound. The damage it causes is real, neurological, emotional, relational. But awareness is a first step out. Once you understand the mechanism, you stop blaming yourself. You stop shrinking. You stop begging for a basic human acknowledgement from someone using your emotions against you. If this video made you think of someone in your life, that feeling is worth paying attention to. Like this video if it opened your eyes, and subscribe. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about psychology. We use it to protect you.